All right, hey everybody. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to make a website here on Google Sites. And when we are done, we'll have a nice little website like this one. I made one called Soccer World that tells all about the world of soccer, but yours can be any kind of theme that you choose. And we'll have several pages here. I have my homepage with a little picture and a link, and then another page with some videos or a video. You could obviously add more, and another page right here with some standings. And you will be able to customize these to your heart's content. So it should be informative and fun. Let's get going. So here I am in Google's homepage. And you need to be logged into your Google account. If you're not, there should be a little sign in button around here. And if you click on this little box icon right here, you could see all of Google's apps, and Sites is not there. And so I hit more and it's still not there. So I'm going to go to Even More by Google. And you can see the full assortment of all of Google's apps. And I'm just going to go to Home and Office and click on Sites. Or you can just Google Sites. I just wanted to do it that way. And here's the one that I have already made, but I want to make a new one. So I'm just going to click on this Create button. And you'll be brought to this page. They have different templates for you to choose from, but we are just going to go with a blank template. And I am going to call this Soccer World. And Soccer World will have already been taken when I choose the URL down here. So they will tell you if it has already been taken. So I will do Soccer World version 2. Let's try V2. And you need to click the little CAPTCHA thing. It's nice that you don't have to type in that CAPTCHA stuff anymore. That was a great development by whoever did that. And it also gives you the option to select a theme, but we are just going to keep it on the default ski theme so that we could customize it as much as we want. I'm going to create, and they will create your website. And it will load, and we'll be brought to this page right here, a very blank canvas for us to work on. And the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to kind of change the arrangement of it. I don't like this thing on the side, the site map, and that looks kind of weird. So I have 3 options up here. I can edit the page, which we'll do, which we can create a new page, which we'll also do, or we can go to settings. Right now, I'm going to go to settings, and I am going to go down to edit the site layout. And that will allow me to customize how this site is laid out. And this thing right here, this is the sidebar. I just want to click on it. I'm going to get rid of it. If you want to keep the sidebar, feel free to do so. Play around with all of these and see how you want it. But I am going to need some kind of way to navigate. And I'm going to have a horizontal navigation instead. And that will come up when I click there like that. And when I like how that looks, I could just click on close. And now I have my little horizontal navigation menu. And I have a page that just says home with nothing on it. So let's edit this page so we can add some stuff. I want to click on this little pencil. Is it a pencil? Yeah, pencil icon. And it will bring me into the editor. And right here is the title. It just says home. We will get rid of that eventually, but I still just want to call it home for now. And I'm going to type the first sentence of my website. I'm just going to say, this is my website about soccer. If you like soccer, boy, are you in luck. And when I type this, I could choose from several different options. It's much like a text editor. I could bold, italicize, change the font size, change the font color, change the type of font, all sorts of stuff. And I also want to add a picture. So I'm going to go down here, and if I go up here to insert, or this little file menu here, there are several different things I could change. I could add columns if I want to, like a certain table, which we will do later. I can mess around with the format, or I could have various things to insert right here. And since I want to insert a picture, I am going to click on Insert Image. And you can choose from a picture that you have on your computer, or you can choose one by just using the URL. And that's what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to just search soccer player. Oops, not soccer. I want a soccer player. Oh. There we go, and go to images. And I could pick the one that I want. And I'll choose this guy right here. And if I control click or right click, I have these options, and I just want to copy the image URL and paste it into here. And there's my guy right there. And I have the alternate text for if some reason the picture doesn't load, I could display this message. So I could say there should be a soccer player here. Sorry. Okay. And it goes in there, and it is way too big for what I want. So I could play around with these options down here. I could have it be the original, which was what it's right now. I could go to the full 100%, or just do the presets of small, medium, and large. Let me try medium. That's a little too small, so I'm going to go with large, and that looks a lot better. I could play with the alignment. I could have it centered or right aligned, but that doesn't really make much sense. And I could also do wrap off or wrap on. And if the text is wrapped, then when I press enter, it will go down here, and I could put text on the side of the picture. But I am just going to keep it like that. And if I click down there and go to the next line, I can put in a link too. And I can link to any kind of page that I want. I had FIFA in my other page, but let's just try some soccer scores since people aren't too happy with FIFA right about this time. So not soccer players, soccer scores. And there we go. And I just want to copy the URL up there. And I'm going to go back up here to insert. And before we inserted the image, this time we're going to insert the link. And I could choose from a page that I already have in my web page. And since I only have one page right now, that wouldn't really make much sense. So I'm going to go to web address. And I have two things. I have the URL, which is what I want to paste into there, and then just the text that will display. And so I'll say, click here to see some soccer scores. Boom. Okay. And now when I have it, if I were to click onto that, it would open up that link. And I think this looks pretty good right now. So I just want to go up here and I want to save it. And my changes have been saved, and this is how the page will look to the user minus our little user menu up here. Cool. Okay, so I have the kind of foundation of my website, but right now this looks pretty bland, so I want to change it. If I go up to the little gear icon, and I was editing the site layout before, this time I want to go to Manage Site. And if I go down here to themes, colors, and fonts, I could change everything about my website that I want to. And they have some themes that you could choose from here. So these are kind of pre-made for you. So if I wanted branches, I don't know what that is. Let's see. That doesn't really make much sense for my website. Or you could have a vinyl panel. I'm just going to stick with ski. It's a nice blank template, and we can modify it how we want. So in my other page, I had a nice blue background on the side there for the whole pages. So I want to change the entire page, the background, and I want to change the color. So right now it's on the default theme color, which is kind of some off-white or pearl or whatever you would call that. And if I just click onto here and then click on the little paint bucket tool, I could choose from different colors. So let's try this nice little blue right there. Yeah, that looks nice. Cool. I'll keep it like that. And you could also modify the other areas too. So it says site header. The header is this area up top. It's the top of the web page, just like the head is the top of your body. So this is called the header. The thing down here at the bottom would be called the footer. And this area right here is the content area. So I want to change the color of my header. So I'm going to go here and click my options, and I don't really like any of these. So you notice down here it says enter color hex value. If we were to search hex colors and click on this HTML color picker at W3 Schools, this allows us to pick any color that we want. So if I wanted, let's say I wanted something like that, that looks pretty good to me. And I can make it a little lighter, or a little darker, but let's have it be like that. And this weird looking hashtag letter number thing right here is what's called a hex value. And what it is it has the red, green, and blue values. Like here it's 255, 255, 117. That's 255 red, 255 green, and 117 blue, mixing all the primary colors into this color. But instead of having these normal numbers, they have what are called hexadecimal numbers. So FF, FF, and 75. And you don't really need to know how the hex letter or how the hex numbers work, but just let it be known that like normal numbers are base 10 and hex numbers are base 16 with letters and numbers. But this right here is that, and if I were to click that, like that changes the RGB value, and that's my hex value for that color. So I'm gonna go back to what I had before, the letter, and I just want to copy this. And I want to paste that into my enter hex value, and then that will turn to that color. And that will work with any color that you want there. You could get any color imaginable. So I have that right there, and I think that looks pretty good. I just want to change that font for my title is a little boring. So I want to go down to title, and I could change the color of it, I could change the size of it, but I'm gonna go change the type of font and which one would be good. Click on that, some more will load. There we go. There we go. April Fatface. I like the name of the font, but I don't know if I'm feeling the actual style of it. How about that one? Soccer World. What would be good? Freckle face. No. All right, I'm just going to pick one. I'm not going to struggle over this decision here. Let's just go with what did I have before? Oh, Pedra. Yeah, that looks not terrible. If you don't like the font, then you could pick a different one, but I am not going to spend this entire tutorial agonizing over my type of font. So I am going to keep this like that, and then I just want to save it. Boom. And if I wanted to change the font like in the content area, I could just go down content, the background page, all of different text right there, and you could do the exact same thing. So just play around with those, and I think you will come up with something that you are happy with, and in many ways is better than the themes that they give you. So I'm just going to click save and go back to Soccer World. So I have this now, and I have this little search this site thing. I don't really need that. It just kind of sticks out there in the header. My site isn't so unwieldy that I need a search box in order to navigate it effectively. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go back to my managed site. And I want to go to general, and where is this? I want to go down to configure search and enable search, just get rid of it and save. I changed them and saved, and now I can see my new site now without that search box there, and I think that looks better. So right now I have a home page, but I don't have anything else. I need to add a new page. And in order to do that, I just go up here and go to create page. And I am going to call this one videos. And I'm not going to mess around with the template. I'm just going to keep them all the same to keep it simple. And I'm just going to go create. And you can see this is my new page here that is called videos. And what I want to do is I want to insert a video. So I'm just going to go to insert. And if you go down here to YouTube, it will ask you for the URL of a YouTube video. So I am going to search Tim Howard saves. 16 saves and 1 match. Great job, Tim. And if you control click or right click, you can copy the embed code. Oh no, actually you don't want to do that. That's for HTML. For this one, all we need to do is copy the URL. So if you just go up here, copy that URL, and then paste it into there. I don't really need a title for it. If you wanted to do that, you could, but I'm just going to go to save. And this kind of weird thing just shows up here, but if I were to save it and go back, now I can see my videos page is all set right there. And that's cool, but if I go to home, like I can't get back to videos. So we need to edit our navigation menu. And we're just going to go back to the same screen that we were at before. We're going to go to edit the site layout. And if I click on this, on the navigation menu, it brings me to this page. And I just want to add that page. I'm going to add videos, boom, and okay. And now it will show up like that. And you could also edit like the style of it too. Like if you wanted to do tabs, you could do that, or you could do boxes like that. I think those look kind of dated and not very good, so I'm just going to keep it on links. I think that looks better for my purposes right there. And I'm going to add one more page. No, I'm going to close out of there first. So if I add another page like I had before, we'll go to create. And this one will be called standings. And I can create that. Cool. And I want to edit it just like I did before. I can mess around with that. And this time I'm going to make a table. So 2 by, yeah, that'll work. Cool. So I can have my team, my record, and my points. And I could fill that in how I want to. And let's say I wanted to type something up there above that. I could just, a good way of doing this. There we go. You just got to get on the left side, kind of got to squeeze yourself in there and enter it down. And we could do the format here, and they have the different headings to choose from. So in websites and in HTML, the heading is kind of, it's the title under which many things go. And right now our heading 1, our main heading, is going to be standings right there at the top one. But if we wanted something under standings that was a little smaller, we could do heading 2. And then if we needed something under heading 2, we could do heading 3. And if I'm going to click that, and I will say, yes, I know soccer people don't call them standings, they call them tables. Stop bothering me about it. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, and you can see it changed to 16-point font, and it is bolded now too. And you could do that manually, or you could do that on your own. And you could also, like, if you're a bit more familiar with HTML, you can just click on this little HTML tab, and this will give you the raw HTML. So say I wanted my border width on the table to be a little thicker. So I want to do 5 pixels, update. Now it's like that. And if you are familiar with HTML, that could be something useful to you to kind of give you a degree of flexibility that is not there in the text editor. Or if you have an HTML file that you made on your own, you can just copy and paste it straight into there, and then it will show up onto your website. But I am going to keep it on 1 pixel. Okay, I'm going to save that. And I have the same issue as before where I don't have my standings tab there. So I'm going to go to edit site layout, click on that, and I am going to add my standings page Okay. And now it is there. And just one more thing I want to do. If I go to home, like it says home, I don't need that. It's obviously I'm at the home. So what we can do is if you go here, you have these different page settings and it has show page title, show links to subpages. I don't really need those, so I'm going to get rid of them. And so that will go away. And also on standings, like I have comments. I don't want random people commenting. I don't know about that. So I'm just going to go back to page settings, and this one has everything. I think I want to keep the page title, but I don't want this other stuff. So I'm going to get rid of it. And sweet, now it is just like that. And you could see I have the the basics of my webpage, and that will get you going pretty well in Google Sites, and you should be able to make a decent website from there. So I hope that was helpful and you learned something. All right, have a good one. Later.